Hello and welcome to Core. This is a visual novel made by a small team, and I was referred to it by a friend, and I know nothing about this except that um there's one character that's meeting up with friends, and that's about it. So I'm going in blind. I'm assuming you guys are too, so let's see how this story is, and if you guys like the beginning, or the first episode, I guess, then I will continue to do it. If nothing else, it gives me more visual novels to do in the meantime while I wait for Far Beyond the World and The Smoke Room and Arches and stuff like that. I think I've fallen asleep. Again. I keep my eyes closed, trying to get some more rest before realizing how much my neck hurts right now. Shit, I don't know for how long I slept, but it feels like I didn't move at all for hours, and now my body feels sore. I really don't think I'm gonna fall asleep again. Might as well open my eyes, I guess. The train's light is dim, which helps me look around without being overwhelmed by it. I look at my left hand, holding my phone, the screen staying dark, looking at my own reflection. Man, I look really tired. In my defense, I barely slept. I'm surprised I don't have bags under my eyes. I put my phone in my pocket and stretch my arms, enjoying the feeling of waking up. Morning, sleepyhead. I open my eyes to Edward, sitting across from me. He looks enveloped in his comics. I'm honestly surprised that he even noticed I woke up. Morning, Ed. I stretch out a little more, my body feeling stiff from the uncomfortable and solid cloth seat under me. You haven't been reading the same comic this entire time, have you? Actually, what time is it? I whisper the last question to myself as I look down to check my phone. Wow, I was asleep for 3 hours. Well, to be fair, I'm not used to being awake at 5 a.m. and rushing into a train. I look back to Ed, the rat giving me a stern and judging look. Of course I have. I can't have myself run out of reading material before we actually get there. He looks back to his book, making a pouty sound as he looks away from me. Are you gonna be okay? With a lack of sleep? Yeah, of course. No different from our late night gaming sessions. I just need some coffee and I'll be fine. He flashes me a toothy grin, and I roll my eyes in response. Now that I think about it, I could use some coffee, air, and to move off this seat. I can feel the pins and needles in my legs now. Well, I'm gonna go stretch my legs. These seats are really uncomfortable. Yeah, you can say that again. I can hardly feel my ass. He shifts in his seat, not taking his eyes off the comic book. I'll be here if you need anything, though. Oh, I think the others are in the car behind us. They might have moved, but I'm pretty sure they're still there. Huh. Actually, why did they get put in a different car? Because I made extra special sure that that'd be the case earlier. I smile at him and get up from my seat. The sound of my shoes hitting the solid floor below makes me nervous. I never enjoyed trains. The fact that my legs are still numb is definitely not helping that case. Okay, I'll see you in a bit, Ed. I start walking to the car behind us, finally regaining feeling in my legs. However, something feels strange. I'm used to these guys being loud when talking, but this car is in complete silence. I eye the seats from near the door to see if I spot something, like a big crocodile or some blue wool, but no, they're not here. Did Ed get the wrong car? There's some few people on their seats, and I don't want them to stare at me, so I walk forward with the intention of reaching the next car if I have to. I just go back to Ed if. Oh, wait, that's Hector's backpack on the seat, and Mike's and Faust's. I guess they left somewhere at the same time? It's a bit strange, but I wouldn't put it past them, especially Mike. I don't think he'd like to be left alone while the others go somewhere else. I feel the eyes of some of the passengers staring at me for standing in front of an empty seat, so I just sit there and wait for them. Well, this is awkward. Whatever they're doing, they're taking their time. I consider heading back to Ed's car before I hear someone's voice I recognize. Mike's. It's a loud laugh, so I know it's him. Can't be anyone else. The colorful bunch follows right after, with Mike ahead, Faust and Hector behind. Come on, you have to admit the situation was funny. Then next time, I'll stay in the bathroom, if you think it's so funny. See if you can pee while someone's staring at your dick. The whole car turns to look at them, as far as I can see. Meanwhile, I just turn away and internally wish I didn't sit here to wait for them. I'm used to Mike being loud and shameless sometimes, but I'm still not used to Hector following his steps. And I also don't want to get put on the spot right now, either. Can you two not say those things out loud? My god! Some loud footsteps approach me, and I turn to greet them just to see that Faust passed Mike, probably with the intention to not be associated with them. Robert? Yes, can you guys sit, please? People are staring at you. Mike laughs again before sitting in front of me, and Faust sits next to him. Hector joins me, seemingly embarrassed too, but with a small smile on his face. Did you forget how spending time with us feels? With you, you mean? Don't put me in the same sack. Maybe I did. It's just been some time after all. It's not like we didn't see each other before we got on the train, but I get what you meant. Where did you guys go, though? Usually one person stays behind. I thought I missed your seats. I'm not really sure I want that answer, judging by the conversation they were having a moment ago, but I'm curious. I just went to get some water bottles for us, and I'm sure Hector went to the bathroom. He places a couple of water bottles on the table as he speaks. There's only 3 since he didn't count on me suddenly showing up, obviously. And I don't want to be left alone here, so I went to the bathroom shortly after, too. Yeah, well, I was still inside. I thought you would be done by then. You could have knocked first. And I guess you found them on your way back, Faust? I catch Mike poking his tongue out to Hector, and the reaction makes me smile. Of course they're not angry with each other, they're just... The table trembles a bit, and Mike reacts with a pained moan. I think Hector just kicked him under the table. Ouch! Hector! How can you not see these two when they're together? It's not like I saw anything anyway. Are you implying my dick is small? I move away from Hector after he says that, and I can see Faust being taken aback by it too. God, Hector, I know you want to open up lately, but this is weird. Okay, I'm stopping this here. They're going to kick us off the train at this rate. That's not possible, is it? It is. They don't even stop the train. The door opens and bye-bye. Sure thing, man. But hey, now that you're here, why don't we reconnect again? That's not a bad idea. I'd like to know what you've been up to lately, Rob. The question kinda gets me with my guard down, not because I don't expect them to care, but because I realize it's been some time, especially from Mike. Before I have a chance to speak, Hector jumps in and asks before anyone else can. Oh yeah, Ed told me that you went back to college. How's that going? What? You went back to college? Ah, I'm so happy for you! But I can't believe you didn't tell me. Oh, are you sure you're going to be okay going on this trip? Guys, one at a time, please. All these questions are a bit too much all at once. The amount of questions is somewhat overwhelming. I'm honestly having a hard time processing it all right now. Okay, deep breaths, Robert. Remember how to handle anxiety. Deep breaths. Yes, I went back to college, and I'm sorry I told no one. But I needed some time for myself. That being said, I think I'm doing better, so you don't have to worry about me. I promise you to. Okay? Got it. Well, you know where to find us if you ever need anything. And now it's my turn. How are you all feeling about this trip? I'm a bit unsure. Ed's perspective had me thinking we might have a hard time trying to find things to do around there. But wasn't this all Ed's idea to begin with? Anyway, I don't think we'll get bored, and even if we do, we'll probably find a way to have some fun ourselves. Before we got on the train, I looked at some stuff about the place. There's mountains, a beach, a little local store, and a bunch of other small things, so I don't know about you guys, but I'll be more than happy. Faust doesn't get out much to begin with, so it makes sense why he'd be the most excited about this, even if everyone else is pretty skeptical. I don't blame them though, the place isn't exactly booming like Moreland is, but no muggings at least. Oh, that reminds me, where's Ed? My mind goes blank for a second, feeling bad for not remembering I'd left Ed alone. Crap, you're right. Sorry guys, but I should go see how Ed's doing for now. You're free to come by and say hi, okay? Before I can leave, both Faust and Mike stand up and wrap their arms around me for a hug. A soft bow melody plays in my ears as they hug me. Both of them are fairly physical people, so I'm not surprised. Hector just looks at us from his chair. It's not that he doesn't care, but he doesn't enjoy physical contact as much as the other two. Although he's been trying with little details like walking closer to people. They wave to me as I leave to go find Ed. I walk back towards my booth, passing a few people on my way back, and I'm just now noticing how empty this train is. I get that where we're going isn't exactly a bustling city, but it's kinda sad to see how dead this place is. This train only goes between Core and Moreland, so the number of people who get on the train to go to Moreland is probably way higher than now. I get back to our booth to see Ed still in the same position I left him in, still reading the same book. He seems content sitting there, but also a little lonely. Were you planning on staying in that pose for the whole ride? He responds once again, not moving from his spot, his head, his eyes. He doesn't move even once. At this point, I'm honestly finding this impressive. Well, I wasn't going to, but now that you gave me the idea, yes, I am. I don't know, it's gonna be real hard to talk to you if you're going to be swallowed by the seat. Edward chuckles as he sits up, stretching out his arms and closing the comic book, but still keeping one finger in it so that he doesn't lose the page that he was reading. For references, these seats are not nearly comfortable enough to make a dent in them. And also, would it worry you if I said I can hardly feel my legs anymore? Yes? Are you okay? Oh yeah, totally fine, no worries. He stretches out once more and I can hear something in his body crack, making me slightly worried that Ed might need help getting out of the train now. Which reminds me I have zero idea when we're getting to the station. Hey Ed, do you know when we're gonna arrive? Well, it's an 8-hour train ride. We left around 5, so we should be there by 1. Oh, okay. Are you nervous? Me? Nervous about what? Well, you seem a bit restless today. Just worried about you is all. Heh, thanks. But I'm fine, really. Don't worry about me. He's not wrong. This entire trip is honestly worrying me right now. Not just because it's been so long, but also because of how I left. The feeling is very similar to how I felt when I left this town. This feeling took a long time to get rid of, and now that it's back, it doesn't feel great. But telling Ed about this would only make him worry more over me than himself. Still, there is one thing. Well, maybe... Hey Ed, do you ever think about Gus? There's a bit of a drawn-out silence as he looks at the table attached to the wall, his face dropping somewhat. Gus was never a comfortable topic to talk about, but it's possible we may run into him when we get there. If he's even still in our old town. So I want to rip the band-aid off now, rather than later. Not too much, or at least, not as much as I should. I've been thinking about it since I started planning this trip and, well, it's kinda been on my mind for a bit. How about you? Well, I'm trying to stay positive about it, but I'm worried. We haven't contacted him in years, and since we left so suddenly, I feel like we abandoned him. Silence looms over us once again for a few seconds, but I soon see Ed's face brighten up with determination, looking back at me. I don't think you should think like that, Rob. You didn't have a choice in the matter, and neither did I. It's sad, and we could have done better, but hey. He leans forward so that he can reach my hands, dropping his comic next to him in the process, rubbing his thumb on his hands before he continues. You remember Gus, right? He's the most cheerful guy you've ever met, even more than Mike. Always calm. It was like nothing could even bother him. That's true. Even when he got scolded, he never cried. He was never angry. He was just, I don't know. He was just Gus. Exactly. So don't worry. I'm sure he doesn't think we abandoned him, and he's living his best life. Trust me. It's funny. It's been such a long time without him, and yet, right now, it feels like he's right here with us. Ed's face lights up with a soft smile, but through his hands, I can feel a small vibration. It sounds like his heartbeat increased a little, and it feels nice. That lonely feeling before fades as I just enjoy this moment. Thanks, Ed. I think I needed this. Hey, I had to pay you back for all the times that you've been there for me. It was about time, right? I smile back at him before letting his hands go, leaning my head up to rest against the window, looking out at the countryside passing by. Ed moves from his seat to settle down beside me, resting his head on my shoulder. The passing hills makes me feel drowsy, and I soon close my eyes and the world around me fades away as a melodic chiming sound plays in my head. After a while, I wake up to the view of a clear ocean and beach in the distance. We're home. We're at Core. I go to wake Ed up, but he's still asleep on my shoulder, so I decide to let him relax. It's probably been a while since he'd actually had a decent sleep. Ed worked so hard to set up this trip, and now that we're here, I hope he feels like it will be worth it. He wakes up a few minutes later, nudging my shoulder as he does. Good timing, too. I can already see the station from here. Damn, I needed that more than I thought I did. Oh, and, sorry, but you're a nice pillow. Since when do you apologize for that? That's new. Ed pokes his tongue out at me and moves away slightly, still keeping fairly close by, but there's still enough room for me to stretch my arms out. He smiles at me, only to let out a yawn in the process. Ed and I have always been close. We've been friends since we were in diapers, which means we're almost inseparable at this point, and I really wouldn't have it any other way. Wait. Are we already there? He peers out the window and almost jumps with excitement. Haha, yes! This is it, Rob. Are you ready? I smile back at him with a nod, enjoying this side of Ed, the side that's almost like a kid again. It helps bring me back to reality sometimes. Yeah, I am. The train starts to slow down as I reach up top to grab 2 bags full of clothes, chargers, basic health supplies, and of course my own little secret, a pair of headphones. They don't really work anymore. Something about the cables snapping, I guess, but they help soothe me in tough situations. It helps me isolate for a bit, keep calm. I look over to see that Ed's having a hard time with his bags. Hey, Ed? Do you need some help there? Nah, I'll be... Whoa! Ed nearly topples over himself, using the seat in front of him as support as his luggage falls to the floor. He sighs and admits defeat, his shoulders drooping as he does so. He then tries to lift everything up again, this time dropping a bag on the floor after a few seconds, and pouts. Alright, can I help now? Yes. I chuckle and reach for the bag he dropped, and my intention is to carry it. But I simply can't. Grabbing it with both of my hands, I put more of my body into it, lifting it off the ground and onto my back. Ed, what the fuck is in here? Oh, well, comic books, a cooler, a camera, some toilet paper. No, that's in the other bag. I think I may have put a kite in there. You can't be serious. As much as I love Ed, sometimes he can be just a little bit intense. I think the worst part about it is that he still has 2 more bags, probably as heavy as this one. Okay, so maybe the kite thing was a lie. But I packed for the worst, and by that I mean boredom. You'll be thanking me once we unravel our board game backpack extravaganza. I'm glad you're ready for this, but what was that about you having a statue? He just smiles innocently and doesn't answer. With some difficulties, we start to head out, with Ed leading in front of me. We soon pass by the other guys' seats, already empty. They must have already left. I keep following Ed to the exit doors of the train and step out onto the station platform. Immediately the wind feels noticeably heavy, but it's a nice change compared to the musty, stale air from inside the train. The sound of chirping in the trees and the unmistakable smell of the ocean brings me back to the past. I look around the station, awestruck for a moment. We really are home, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Kinda weird, huh? I never thought I'd be back. Me neither. It's kind of incredible, honestly. We enjoy this moment for ourselves before seeing Faust, Mike, and Hector in the distance. Mike is seemingly vibrating in place, waiting for us as if he was going to start running around us at any second. Hector looks like he's trying to check something on his phone, and Faust is checking his bags. A few more people exit the train after us, then the doors close, and it sits there, not having to leave for another 30 minutes for the train schedule. There are already people here, though looking anxious to get going. Despite not being back here in over 10 years, it still looks the same, almost as if I never left. As we're about to reach the others, I notice Ed looking around a lot. He seems to be searching for something, as if he's expecting something to happen. Ed? You doing okay there, man? Oh, I'm fine. It's just been a while is all. Ed's been acting pretty weird since we got on the train. I figured he'd like to speak about Core during our way here, but he spent most of the time reading instead. It honestly feels like he's up to something, but I decide to shrug it off for the moment. The best place for this discussion isn't a public area. Plus, this bag is starting to wear me out along with all my other stuff. Mike walks up and helps me with the bag that I've been struggling with. He doesn't drop it like Ed or I did, but I can tell he's surprised by how heavy it is. Whoa, Rob, what did you shove in here? I don't really think the beach allows bowling balls, bud. Actually, that's my stuff, sorry. And it's filled with a bunch of supplies to keep us busy these next few days. Ed, when I told you to pack enough stuff for yourself, I didn't mean 3 bags of your size. Well, I mean, it's just like board games and stuff. You know, just activity things. I even brought a camera. Oh, a camera? Could I use it? Sure. I actually have no clue how to use it, so it's all yours, Faust. One condition, though. I give it to you when we get to the beach house, okay? Otherwise, we're gonna have to look through a lot of board games before getting what we want. Sounds great. I really want to take pictures of this place. I never knew you liked photography, Faust. Really? He's incredible. The photos he's taken are great. Take a look at my screensaver. It's actually one of them. Hector shows me a picture of the sunset over a mountain on his phone. There are a few clouds and some of the stars are even visible. It's honestly incredible. What? When did you put that photo there? I think it was last August. It's funny, you look over my shoulder so much that I'm surprised you didn't notice till now. Faust looks at me, embarrassed, the red showing through his green scales. I can't believe you didn't tell me about this before. It's fantastic. How come you aren't a pro at this yet? Faustin starts to walk away. Not angry, but flustered. He always does this. It's like a flight reaction for whenever he's too embarrassed. And then, as Faust walks away, someone gets my attention. Someone across this train station, walking towards us. He has a tattoo on his arm and tail, and his hair looks different, but he looks familiar. It's almost uncanny how close he looks to Gus. Oh fuck, it's Gus! As he gets closer, I'm more sure of it, dropping all my stuff and Ed's on the floor, almost sprinting towards him, nearly leaping at him with a hug. I don't think I just act out of instinct, and right now it's telling me to hug my old friend. Gus, I can't believe it. How did you know we'd be here? Are you okay? I'm sorry we left you and lost contact. How are your parents? Ugh, I can't believe it's you! I feel tears running down my face, but I'm not the only one. Gus's tears are dripping onto the top of my head. A soft, slow, heartfelt song starts playing in my head, nearly blocked out by all the emotions I'm feeling. This is incredible. I thought I would never hear this again. I thought I would never see him again. Hey there, it's okay, bud. I missed you too. Missed both of you so much. I can't help but cry. I really never thought I'd be here again, and seeing Gus just improves this. I'm honestly at a loss for words until I feel Ed join in on the hug. You two didn't forget me, did you? Never would. Sorry for the waterworks. It's just, I've missed the two of you so much. But for now, we're your friends. I pull away from him, wiping my eyes and nose, looking at the other three standing there, looking incredibly confused, chuckling at the looks on their faces. Hey, sorry. From left to right, there's Mike, Hector, and Faust. Guys, this is Gus. Oh, huh, so you're Gus. Robert and Ed talked about you a few times, so it's nice to meet you. We'll probably get along well. Hello, I'm Faust. I imagine you three are close friends, especially after the hug. Well, it's been a while, but yeah, we've been friends for more than 10 years now. Glad that we're still friends, even if we're all grown up a lot. Faust nudges Hector in the arm, causing him to stumble a bit, then looks at the ground. My name's Hector. I'm not good with people in general, so if you pretend I don't exist, that's fine too. Ahem. Hector sighs, taking a deep breath in, now looking directly at Gus. I mean, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming to meet my very good friends. There, satisfied, Mom? Very. I can't help but laugh, and at the same time be slightly disappointed that this is the way Gus meets my closest friends. But thinking about it, a month ago we couldn't even get Hector to talk to new people. It took him a week for him to talk to me. Sorry, we've grown a bit of a crazy bunch. Wait, Gus, how did you know we'd be here? Wait, you mean Ed didn't say anything? I turn to Ed, who looks a tad bit embarrassed, while also slowly backing away from Gus. Does this mean he knew all this time? You son of a... I can't believe you didn't tell me, and I can't believe you did this. I really want to punch and hug you so much right now, so I'm gonna do both. I pull Ed in for a tight hug that he can't escape, despite being pissed at him right now. I love the guy for doing this. Okay, Rob, you can drop me now, please. Alright, but I'm punching you once I stop hugging you. I'm having a really hard time deciding which is the worst thing right now. Okay, kids, we'll just stop fighting. You're causing a scene and I really want to get to the new house. I let the comments about us making a scene go, since he's usually the one causing them. But I can see Mike's tail wagging back and forth, almost like a canine would do. I also let Ed go. The sudden sound of the thud is heard across the station, my fist reaching his shoulder at a moderate speed. Not too strong, but enough to make noise, followed by a small squeak from Ed's part. We laugh it off before reaching for our bags. Gus is already carrying a couple of ours, which means I only have to deal with mine, and probably one of Ed's. Gus turns around to talk to me as we start walking. Your friends seem fun. Should have guessed that they would have been as crazy as you two. Oh, they're not that bad. Faust keeps us in check, or at the very least tries with Mike. Hector is as harmless as a fly. As long as we're not talking about movies, he likes horror just a bit too much. Heh, well, I'm sure I'll get along with them. But aside from that, let me welcome you back to Core. Crazy to be back, huh? Like you wouldn't believe, I didn't realize how much I missed the ocean view. Maybe Faust will even show us some of his photography skills. Oh, he likes photography too? Think we have a new camera no one uses if he wants it. Well, maybe something you two could talk about. Oh, that's a great idea. I'm pretty sure you two will get along great. We walk onto the sidewalk to see the same buildings that have been here for years. It's incredible not to see a skyscraper whenever you turn left though. Refreshing even. I love Moreland, but the constant city noise and the lights everywhere can get a bit tiring, especially if you come from a place like this. I miss the simplicity. So, where are you guys staying? If I remember correctly, the place isn't too far from here. Yep, we got it pretty cheap too. I'm honestly surprised that a beach house is cheap. A beach house? Then you mean Miss Sharon's beach house, right? Er, who? Miss Sharon still lives here? Kinda. She more or less moved to some other place, but rents out the beach house to people who want to spend some time in this peaceful town. Sells surprisingly well, and brings a few customers. You should have heard her on the phone. Still as uptight as she used to be. But aside from that, she was happy to hear from me. She even gave us a discount. Oh yeah, super great discount. But, the directions weren't so great. I tried to memorize them, and I still not sure how to get there. I don't really know what was confusing about them. Just gotta find a brownish yellow building besides the mountain, which is diagonally across from the ice cream parlor. And the ice cream parlor is 5 blocks from the grocery store. Yeah, simple. Faust tries to re-say what I said, looking at his phone, while Mike just shrugs. I guess it's easier when you've lived here. Not really. It's still as convoluted, but it's like those two get it somehow. Here, I'll show you guys. Gus walks in front of everyone, and we all follow him in a straight line. On our way, we pass a bunch of old buildings that bring back memories, especially the old abandoned building. Ed, Gus, and I used to do so many dumb things in that building, my favorite being hide and seek. It was so dark, it was hard to see anything in there, but we stopped playing after Ed accidentally drove his foot into a rusting nail. I learned I wasn't really fond of seeing blood or shady old buildings or, well, the dark in general that day. Although it may be worth taking some of the guys there for fun with a flashlight or multiple. After getting lost in my own world, the voice of Mike trying to start a conversation with Gus brings me back. Gus, you've been living here for a few years, right? If 22 counts as a few, then yeah, quite a few. So, is there any, like, soccer teams? Maybe football? Oh, I'd even take badminton. Um, I'm pretty sure we don't. Sorry, big guy. Aw, well, what about volleyball? We have sand. We could probably find something to use as a net. I'm pretty sure there's a net around at the beach somewhere, if you want. I could help you find it, maybe even get a game in. Sometimes, there used to be, and, well, it still is, a little group of players. Every Wednesday, they come and play for a while. Joined them for a bit, but eventually I got bored, so I stopped going because the people there are a bit overzealous about the winning. Oh, yeah, no fun when people just complain about losing. It's not about that, sometimes. Mm hmm. Well, I'm certain we would have a fun time regardless. The two of them continue their conversation as Faust and Hector are looking around curiously, in silence. They seem to be enjoying the views, though. And I almost tripped for being distracted, not realizing that we had left the pavement and moved onto the beach. The difference between concrete and sand makes me lose my balance for a second. My shoe is nearly instantly filled with sand, but I'm able to see the disgustingly colored beach house from here. As excited as I am, I still don't know exactly how we plan to get in. So, I just thought about this, but, I could have driven you guys here. Would have saved about 30 minutes of our time and your backs. There's a stunned silence. The air is filled with uncertainty. Uncomfortably, Ed tries to get something out, but ends up stuttering instead, leaving Mike, who is just looking at the ground. Wow, that's damn, I'm dumb. I didn't think about that. Sorry, guys. Well, I mean, how would we all fit into one car? It's not your fault, Ed. Someone would have to sit on Faust's lap, or maybe Mike's. I try to dissuade everyone from feeling slightly dumb for the moment, hoping that someone will take the bait. Hey, why not your lap? Have you seen these legs? They're like twigs. Yeah, come on, Fausty. Either way, I'd definitely be the better option. Fausti? Oh, and why's that? Hoping to poke someone, Mike? No, I meant because my legs are stronger. I mean, maybe that too, but I just want someone to appreciate my toned legs. Everyone starts giggling and laughing at Mike's reaction, since he actually blushed, not expecting to be put on the spot by Hector. That could honestly have been much worse, but I'm glad the moment has passed. Uh, right. My bad. Completely overlooked that. And Gus has that old look on his face that I remember. That's where he's biting his tongue because something's up, but hides it with an innocent smile. For now, I'll just ignore it. Better for everyone that way. Causes less issues. Just relax, Rob. It'll be fine. Hey guys, I'll race you there. Well, but we have so much stuff. Excuses. Come on, Hector. It'll just add a little more challenge. Sure, why not? Could use some exercise. I'm surprised enough that Edward's the one who suggested a race, so I wasn't taking it seriously, but Gus seems to, since I see he has his flip-flops in his hand, probably to run better through the sand. I gulp. There is no way I'm running with all these bags on me, so I better try and convince them to take it easy. Guys, go! As I'm mid-sentence, the three of them are already running towards the beach house with Faust and Hector trying to jog behind them. Probably as surprised as I am. Damn it. Hey, wait for me! By the time I catch up with everyone, Mike, Ed, and Gus are already at the house, while Faust, Hector, and I are out of breath as we make our final steps to reach it. Overall, it's a wonderful looking place, minus the color choice of the outside. If I remember correctly, Miss Sharon had this built for her daughter 14 years ago, but she moved away not long after, so it never got a lot of use from them. Making our way up the stairs, we see the door wide open. Ed sprawled out on the carpet, breathing heavily. Well now, this place looks really nice. Ew, it reeks of old lady and incense. Yeah, some kind of cinnamon incense. Gus lays on his back on the couch, looking exhausted. Do you know where Mike went? Did we lose him already? Oh damn, he's probably putting his stuff away. He can really run. Man, I need water. As if on cue, Mike walks from around the corner with his toothbrush in hand, brushing his teeth. His mouth is frothing up from the toothpaste. Oh, hey guys. It took you long enough. Mike nearly starts to choke on his toothbrush for trying to talk like that and practically sprints back to the washroom while Ed laughs on the floor at Mike's antics. As we place all of our stuff down, I take a seat on the carpet with a sigh, feeling completely exhausted. It's been a pretty big day, even though it feels like we haven't done much. I guess there's a lot of emotions I'm feeling right now, and my body is trying to catch up. Then again, this little race didn't help with how tired I feel. Just as I thought, we have a bit of a problem. I position myself to begin looking at Faust, feeling almost like I can hardly stay awake. Mike re-enters the room soon after, clearly not knowing what we're talking about, as he looks at us, confused. Well, we wouldn't happen to have food with us, would we? Crap. I watch Mike go around the corner to where I assume is the kitchen, and I hear a door open. Nah, nothing. No, wait, nope. No, nothing. Well, worst comes to worst, we just feed on the people of Kor. Maybe even each other. I don't think a lack of food would turn us into zombies. But it would be cool to see someone be a zombie. Right? I always wanted to see a real zombie, as long as it doesn't eat me alive. Well, why would you want that? Wouldn't that be, like, the end of the world if that happened? It probably depends on the zombie, whether it makes it far and bites someone else or not. Well, I think we should get food before we start eating each other. Although, some lion meat doesn't sound too bad. Okay, can we drop the zombie talk already? You're all ruining my appetite right now. Wow, He completely missed the joke. Well, if no one will, I suppose I might as well try and find a supermarket and see if I can get us some ingredients. Hopefully, we can make something homemade tonight. Sounds like a great idea and a perfect excuse to show my culinary talent. Since when did you have culinary talent? Since I started managing all the meals for my family. Well, okay, maybe not all of them, but it's a nice pastime, okay? Please let me do something nice. I'm sure it will taste great, and if it's perfectly okay, I think I'm gonna go reacquaint myself with the beach. The view at this time is phenomenal. I highly suggest it. I noticed Gus rub the back of his neck, clearly avoiding saying something. Gus, what about you? What are you gonna do? He looked surprised, almost like he expected me to forget about him sitting there. Is he okay? Oh yeah, just thinking about getting my car from the station, since I left it there. I'll definitely pop by after, see how you're settling in. Oh, okay then. I was honestly kind of hoping he'd want to get to know the guys a little better, but I suppose it's all pretty sudden. Hopefully it won't be like this the whole trip, otherwise this might turn into a whole other endeavor on its own. Well, since everyone else is doing something, I guess I'll unpack some stuff. Probably check the rooms, preferably alone, thanks. Shit, now I'm the only person who doesn't have an idea of what they want to do. I guess I could try joining someone else's plan. I should take this easy and not overthink this choice too much, though. I have the whole vacation to spend time with the others, if I want to. Keeping this in mind... Let's see if we can cause any drama by going with Gus. It's been quite a while since I've seen Gus, and since we got here, we haven't had a lot of chances to talk to each other, especially not alone, so now might be a good time. Gus was sitting on the couch, digging through his pockets for some keys, I assume. As I walk up to him, he slides over to make some room for me, and then pulls out a set of keys. Wanna joyride around? I swallow hard and stumble on my words a bit. The keys make me lose some sense of concentration, but I try to focus so he doesn't notice. Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? You sure? Your friends might want to do something with you too, you know? I know, but it's been, well, years. I owe you some time away from the others. They'll understand. Ed looks over at me, smiling. He's probably happy that Gus and I are talking. I really can't thank him enough for doing all of this. But I guess the best way is to enjoy it, right? Oh, hey, Robert, are you bored? Because I wouldn't mind taking you with me if that's the case. Before I respond, Gus nudges me a little towards Faust. Oh, me? Sorry, I was planning on talking with Gus for a while. Oh, sure, no issue. Have fun, and I'll see you two later. Well, you'll see me for sure, and I'm pretty sure Gus will be coming too. Alright then, have fun. Huh. That was odd. I guess he's just not used to Gus yet, but I'm sure he'll be trying to babysit him too soon. We head out of the house along with Ed and Faust, stopping before we split up to chat. Alright, I'm probably gonna go with Faust for a while, maybe even help him with the shopping stuff. Are you sure? You don't have to. You can hang out with Gus and Rob. I know, but I figure you'd appreciate someone who knows a town to accompany you. Besides, we have the entire vacation to hang out together, and Gus will be with Robert, so he'll be fine. Don't worry, I'll make sure he doesn't get lost. Hey, I'm not gonna get lost. But yeah, we'll see you guys later. After the short chat, each group turns around and heads to their destination. I walk out with Gus and we start heading back to the train station. Admittedly, I'm nervous about the whole, well, situation. But at least this will be short. Gus's car is actually pretty nice. It's old, but it looks like it's in fairly good condition. So, Corrigan, huh? Feels good to be back. Like you wouldn't believe. The city is so incredibly crowded and noisy. Plus there's assholes on every street. Or at least that's what it feels like some days. Oh, Damn, well then I shouldn't tell you how things have been around here. What? Why? You remember my pa's old shop, right? The chocolate store? Yeah. Well, last year we were broken into. Nothing was stolen, but the window was shattered. I mean, who would steal chocolate, right? Hey, it's good chocolate. I would. What a delinquent you are. City changed you. But yeah, aside from that, graffiti has been more frequent. The mayor has been trying to revitalize this place for a while, and it worked a bit. So far, there's a lot of new stores and such in town. Still, didn't stop this place from being kinda boring. Huh. Revitalization project. I feel like I remember reading about that somewhere, but nothing comes to mind. Actually, how was the store doing after the whole vandalism thing? Well, after you two left, the business was booming. A few interested things popped up in town, turning this place into more of a tourist attraction. After a while, though, it died out. But that's when the mayor's revitalization project started to try and draw people back in. Aside from that, business itself hasn't been that bad, but on average it gets really boring. Gus unlocks his door and starts it. I slip into the passenger side, smelling an odd mint scent. The inside of the car itself is clean. Maybe way too clean. Nothing on the floors, no dust, no crumbs in any of the cracks. It's different, comparing it to his... Never mind. How the hell did you keep this so clean? He starts to back up. The movement immediately makes my hands shake, so I hold the sides of the seat, trying not to alert Gus. I take a deep breath to keep myself calm. And that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. Trying to keep these episodes under an hour, so yeah. Well, what did you guys think so far? Do you like the story of Core? Are you interested in it? Because there's 4 more days right now, and I'm willing to do all of them if you guys want to see more and see what happens with these guys. Also, I decided to go with Gus because at first I picked Mike, and like as soon as I picked it, like Gus asks if you want to go with him to the station to pick up the car, and then I felt bad. Yeah, so I ended up having to go back and picking Gus. So yeah. Anywho, if you would like to play Core yourself, I will put a link down in the description. If you would like to support the group, I guess I'll put a link down for their Twitter because I don't know if they have a Patreon or something. So yeah. And I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys later.